GYMDAD Fitness, welcome to the Halloween special. Now, for Halloween, this is one of the favorite times of the year for us pre-workout fans. There's limited editions. Halloween's pretty much every time of the year for pre-workouts. We get the spooky labels, we got zombies, we got pumpkins, we got skulls, we got, everything. The apocalypse, the end of the world, it's all Halloween. It feels like every year around. So when we get the chance to get this type of pre-workout on hands with a pre called Halloween, of course we're gonna have something limited. And I didn't think it was enough just to run this thing one time, do the review, and be done with it. So I ran it multiple times, hit the review, and then we weren't done yet. To kind of finish it off, finish the Halloween week off with a big bang and get you guys going for the Halloween festivities tonight, we are going to go ahead and lead this into a special edition. And we tried to create a monster. We tried to go straight Dr. Frankenstein and bring something back from the dead. And this one right here, this one had me so buzzing. It got me to thinking, what if I got right here, there's the Carolina Chem 1-3. Got samples, shout out to Meaty Morsels and Zach Bark Lifts on Reddit for getting me some California Chem 1-3 to sample. And I've combined this with a few things. So thus far I've used it for Dexter Explosion, Maniaco, and used it for another, is this those two? I believe those two, yes. Couldn't remember if this was the third one. So I've ran it 3 times with 3 different things, and I'll tell you my milligrams I ran it at in all 3 ones. And thankfully I was able to discuss this with a few people. Shout out Jeff on Instagram. I think it's Ultratum's Instagram name, but Jeff, man, thanks, appreciate it. You're the one that kind of inspired me, because these one-off ingredients, when you got all these pre-workouts to review, it's like, what are my chances to really run something like this one-off ingredient? So I have a few of these kind of things laying around. I've just never really got around to. When you're taking these pre's and stuff, you can't really do reviews on them if you're stacking it with alpha yo caps and 1-3 Carolina Chem. So it's more of I call them wild card days, when I just run whatever the hell I want to run. And I think it was a Sunday I ran Dexter Explosion and comboed it with this. And so with the 1-3, man, like I was saying, we were trying to bring something back from the dead here, trying to bring back a Dark Labs product back to life. And what do they say? What goes in the ground isn't the same thing that comes back up. And in the process of trying to recreate the crack from the old times, I think I created a dark energy replica, because this was so freaking buzzing. One of the most, take everything from my crack Halloween review, and just we're gonna do a whole different scorecard for this, and I'll show you the comparison, and just add the bubble, the tunnel vision, and a bit more sense of urgency. And I was debating on doing the flat rounded scoop at the gram, or the flat scoop at the grammage on the bottle, but I went ahead and did a rounded, and I'll put it up on the screen of what grams I ended up running this thing at. Honestly, I think it came in a little light on the scooper when I did do a flat. I think my initial review, I said it was about right on money, but I think I was slightly rounded on that one, looking back on that one. So I do want to mention that I do think the scooper was slightly underdosed, which was pretty much on par with, I think Purple and Gold were both kind of like that. And I think Barbarian too. Don't quote me on that, but it wasn't crazy. It wasn't to the point where I was like, oh shit, they need to fix this. It was within, I want to say it was within a gram and a half to maybe 2 grams. But anyway, so we ran this thing, rounded scoop, and we did 200 mgs of this today. And I know that sounds like an insane amount for some of you people, but based upon my talks with my friends that have ran Carolina Chem, it has to be somewhere between that 150 to 200. I mean, I know people that even pushed it even more and were completely fine. And I thought that was crazy, to be honest. I thought it was crazy. So I ran it at 150 milligrams first run, and it came in really nice. It had a really nice bubble, but I noticed it dissipated very quickly. It came in when I was at home, because I usually take 2 amino products, or products that claim 1-3, 45 minutes to an hour before my training, because it usually takes a while to brew. I'd say it kicked in about 30 minutes. It was a little quicker than what I was thinking. And the bubble lasted throughout trying to get to the gym. It lasted through my stretching, and then it lasted about 15 to 20 minutes into my workout, then it was gone. And I went back to the drawing board, talked with my friend Jeff on Instagram, and he mentioned I think you're needing some more alpha yo backbone, and maybe increasing this thing up to 175 to the 200 range. And so the next time I ran it, it was 175 with Dexter Explosion, and that Alpha Yo backbone really helped give it legs and help you get through that like grueling leg day session of an hour and a half plus type training. And so that was my basis for running the Carolina Chem 1.3. And so then it was time. It's been a few weeks now since I've ran this product right here, and I've been looking for the right product to stack it with again to hit this for the next time. And then this beautiful thing came around. And this one right here, like I mentioned, me and my brother split these pre sometimes, and I slice the ingredient profile off because I don't need it anymore. I like the labels and design, so I keep it on there for him so he knows what grammage to take it at and stuff. And that way I don't have that freaking send him a text message. He always texts me and asks me what the label looks like. I'm like, dude, just go to fucking Google and look it up, and so I don't have to like send him an image of it anymore. But anyway, so most of this stuff I do remember though. Those 500 Araya, caffeine was like low, I think it was high 400, like mid 400s. 2 amino was 300, Alpha Yo 1, and the Canaese 1, and then an insane pump formula. So you stack the Carolina Chem 200 mgs on top of this thing and take everything from previous. So overall score breakdown for this one is Euphoria, red bars. Tunnel Vision Focus, I'm actually giving this thing full red bars. And I'll tell you what, it's not because just because there's 1 gram of Alpha Yo with the Canaese, but it's not like a slap. Like the sense of urgency isn't like, like you gotta go because you're tweaking out so much. You just got that Alpha Yo sense of adrenaline shot into you. I give it the perfect amount of sense of urgency because there's so much euphoric vibes and like bubble, like tunnel, like focus. It puts you in that right headspace and just that real like old school bubble feel that you have no choice but to start lifting. There's no other option for you than to start lifting. This is not one of those pre-workouts that's like, oh, this is crazy buzzing, but you gotta, what do they say, the term sweat equity. You gotta put some sweat equity first to really get this thing rolling. That's not the case. This thing is gonna make you lift. You're gonna have no choice but to move the weights. And so I give this thing perfect score on Euphoria. Pumps, let's go ahead and give this thing a good solid 9 out of 10. I mentioned in the review, I think I gave it a 9 or 10 or something like that, but full green bars. You really don't really need anything else. There's 8 grams of pure citrulline, some agmatine sulfate, I believe, on it, and then you're set. You're running, man. If it's leg day, maybe throw some glycerol shots on it if you want. I tried today with the pump sauce, and it was awesome. It was awesome. The pump sauce is just the glycerol shots with maybe, I think there's like a gram or 2 of citrulline in there as well. But loved it, absolutely loved it for the leg training here today. And then overall raw energy, give this thing a 10 out of 10 too. Like you really couldn't ask for much more. In the original review it was pretty far. I think it was all green bars, but I'm gonna go and bump it up to all red as well because the 1.3 ad just kind of gives it a little more get up early on. Like I mentioned, the 1.3 comes in with about the 30-minute mark for me. It's a little quicker than a lot of other products. Taste, I mentioned in my previous review, I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10. About the same thing as that for going for the taste. And then we added a new one. I had a request for someone from the channel to add a thermal section. And as you can tell, I'm sweating like crazy, man. I'm sweating like a grease monkey on the 4th of July. And this thing, thermo actions, let's give it full green. The only reason I don't give it red is because there was no like GBB, there's no grains of paradise, there's no like other additives that kind of like make you like kind of start feeling that warm, like embers are lighting in your body. It's thermogenic in the factor that you feel so damn good that like you're so warm and bubbly and like ready to lift that you really work yourself into like one of the most insane sweats you've ever had. I mean, like my shirt is drenched from head to toe. I feel like I fell into a swimming pool. So I don't know how I could possibly dock this thing anything. The only reason I don't give it the red is because the no grains of paradise or GBB. It's not like you're going to be dripping sweat before your workout starts. If that was the case, I would probably give it the full red bars, but you're going to be so locked in and focused that you'll have no choice but to start lifting and start sweating your ass off. And that wraps up the scoring breakdown for this one. So I guess in conclusion, people are going to want to know, can they replicate this experience without this product? I think the answer is maybe. It depends. So if you have, let me grab it. I grab 2 of them here. I'm looking for diamond. So if the only way they'll really change this, if this was like a push day, the only way to like possibly adjust this was perfect. I wouldn't want anything else for a heavy leg day or heavy back day. I would want to keep it right at this. And this is something, if you don't take this product late in the evening with this combo, if you don't plan on being in the gym for a long time. You know, this is a Saturday one. This is like I have work off on a Friday and I'm gonna go just tear it down. This is not like a quick arm workout combo. This is I'm gonna be in here for an hour plus leg day or heavy back day. I might throw in some abs at the end. I might start the workout some calves. I'm gonna go to the whole kitchen sink at it. This is what this combo's for. You know, this is one of these ones that you're gonna have to be forced to leave the gym. Like for instance, I ran this thing because I have today off. The kids I have no children accountable for me to get home that day. So it was just, you know, me just in the weights. There's no other reason for me to leave. And so this is the combo that was perfect for that type of day. The only thing I could really adjust if this was a heavy push day or a shoulder day when I like a little bit of that alpha yo kind of adrenaline rush, I would maybe add a cap to a gram of alpha yo hembean on top of the 1 gram already in here. But if that's the case, if that's what you're shooting for, I think you can get the job done with this combo right here. And I've heard lots of really good things about this. Like I mentioned, I've tried it too. Definitely one of these ones that, like, if you want a sense of this is a California Chem 1.3, just to remind everyone, 200 milligrams of that with the Maniaco, and like some people might think it's overkill, but you know this is like a special occasions, like I said, you know. So if you were, you know, if you want to really just see what this thing's got, you got to add a little bit of backbone to it. And so that's the combo you could do and get away with if you were going to do the Halloween combo and you wanted like the Alpha Yo sense of urgency included. But if like you don't want the Alpha Yo and you want the closest damn thing to Crack Halloween, but you don't want to go buy Crack Halloween, my best bet would if you have a Riot caps. A lot of people have those ASC supplements of Riot caps and Alpha Yo caps. Take your Riot caps, get the 500 mg's of that, do a scoop and a half of diamond. Scoop and a half of diamond is going to get you to that get you over the 300 of 2-amino, and it's going to up that caffeine to about the same level. You're still going to have that canna extract in there too. That's going to smooth things out, but you're going to get the 3 things of caffeine as well. So you do the scoop and a half of diamond with the Carolina Chem, and there you have it. And then stack some Mariah caps on it. You just got to play around with a little bit to get it there. So like if you don't have all those things on hand, it makes sense to go and snatch Crack Halloween, but I guess it kind of depends on what tools you have in your arsenal. I mean, if you wanted something a little bit smoother and you were really had a lot of things on hand, I guess you could take it with the Maniaco in the California Chem. And then if I don't know if anyone that has canna extract, or maybe if you have L-theanine like on hand or something like that, you could try to deaden some more of that Alpha Yo to get more of a smooth experience. But that's kind of how I'd go about it. But overall, man, you can't beat this combo right here. Like I said, raised from the dead, dark energy. Haven't felt anything like this. When I say dark energy had this happiness, euphoric bubble that, like, you know, you didn't want to be anywhere but the current moment, and you just couldn't get enough of the weights. Like you were just, you know, smiling from cheek to cheek, just happy as a clown. Even in the morning, I've trained in the morning today, and sometimes it's harder in the morning to get things going like this, and this did it. And that's why it made me think of dark energy, because I remember taking dark energy at like 5:30 in the morning and just being like, you know, smiling from cheek to cheek, just like dancing vibes. This is what this one felt like. It was that, then it gave me that comparison because of the bubble it put me in, plus that extra euphoria that I mentioned in the previous review on this one, where you feel like you just can't get any more happier than what it is right now. It's like, this is too buzzing, this shouldn't be allowed. Like this thing is just going too far. And then you stack some 1-3 on that. You give it that sense of urgency in a way of like you have to start lifting, not like a slap, kind of like how Dark Energy did that. And then I kind of compared the Dark Energy too, because Dark Energy had the GABA that kind of calmed things down and relaxed it, why this one's got the Canna-Ease. So you kind of have a lot of like comparisons and similarities. And I wanted to think outside the box. It would have been easy just to kind of compare this to a regular Crack, but I think if you combine some Alpha Yo caps, you could probably get to that original Crack Halloween in comparison if you're trying to get that way. But man, this thing turned out perfect. Like I said, this wasn't what I was trying to raise from the dead, but it ended up being exactly what I needed to raise from the dead. And so happy Halloween, everyone. Hope you guys have an awesome night. Like, subscribe, and catch me on the next review.